I don't go to that many concerts these days, but the last time I was in the Glasgow Hydro, which is a big sort of 12,000 seater sort of venue, it's a sort of you're arrayed in a big circle around the stage, or a semicircle around the stage. It's big and it goes back a long way. And for one of the concerts I went to with my daughter, it would be, gosh, when would that be? That would be maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Anyway, what I noticed was that all of the light show, in a weird way, is extended from the stage into the audience by all the cameras. So if you're sitting at the back, what you're seeing is you're seeing a light effect on the stage that then gets ripples back through all of these cameras. Well, because all the cameras work at different speeds. Yeah. So you get this, because at any one time in an audience of 10,000 people, there's at least 1,000 people holding up their cameras. And it's a weird thing. It really is a weird thing. And obviously it wasn't part of the scene when I was a lad, when I was started first going to concerts. It was entirely different. The whole social aspect of going to a concert was completely different. You didn't go there to film it. You went there to get an experience, you know? Exactly. But I think a lot of people, they can't experience it unless they're filming it. Do you know what I mean? They can't. They just stand here and watch, but the moment will be gone and then I'll never have it again. So they have to record it. And in some ways I'm glad they do, because you then get these fan-made multiple viewpoint videos of tours and things, which are actually can be really, really good if they get a good board recording to go with it. Yes. You can get some really good, in fact many bands have taken advantage of that, of course. But I'm still in favour. If I had my choice, I would make it the way it was when I first started going to concerts, which is no cameras at all, and people getting excited and shouting out and stuff, you know, which doesn't happen now. That's the thing. It's like every concert now is choreographed much more than it used to be. Especially when I used to go to the Apollo in Glasgow, there was a whole thing there which was very much a sort of a lads culture. There was hardly any women in the audience. It was all just blokes. And the thing you did was you shouted out your favourite band to see what kind of response you got. So you would shout out, as I would, Frank Zappa, and you would get a scattering of applause from all around the auditorium, and somebody would shout out some ridiculous, you know, like ABBA, and it was like, what the fuck? So you'd get all these jokers that had great things to shout out, you know, but all that's gone now. It's just people just sitting there with their cameras, you know, taking selfies and chilling out before the concert, and then during the concert, just this massive fucking cameras. So did anybody actually film, or did everybody respect that?
I saw a couple of people sneak a camera out here and there, and they were usually kicked out, like removed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right, okay.
But I don't think the band, because part of the deal is that if the band isn't interrupted by a flash or some asshole filming, that during the last show, you're allowed to stand up and film it. And that was the song The Grand Canyon. So if you go on YouTube and type in, you know, like Boston, April 2nd, you know, that concert, you'll find all sorts of really high quality angles of that song Grand Canyon, which I thought was really good. And that's how King Crimson does it too. Like, you're allowed to, they say once you see Tony bring out his camera, Tony Levin, you know, then.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Yes. I just realised recently that just last week that he's taken all these photographs down through the years. I didn't realise he did that.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. I don't think he's published them yet, or maybe he's starting to. I don't know, but he's just, well, I think the interview I saw was about the book. So yes, it's imminent. Oh, yeah, it's imminent. That's awesome.
And you can, well, I might be wrong about that, because I think it might be that you could buy prints, because that's what I saw. I went looking for a book, expecting it to be a book, and what I found was a website that was selling large-scale, limited edition prints, which you could buy for like $100. Well, that's not quite in my wheelhouse, but yeah, a book of his photography would be amazing, because he's served time with so many amazing musicians, you know.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's one thing that I credit King Crimson for, and it also drives me nuts, is that Robert Fripp seems like absolutely obsessed with monetizing everything. Like, when you go to the DGM website, there's live album after live album behind paywall. You know, like like King Crimson has like 12 albums, but you can buy something like 10,000 live versions. And they're not cheap either. Like it's like Primus used to do that, where they would record every show on a board recording, and you could go to primuslive.com, and for $10 you could buy three sets, and so you could go and buy the concert you were at, and I thought that was special. And I've lost them, unfortunately, and the site's gone now, but I had soundboard recordings of all my favorite Primus concerts, but that hard drive crashed on me.
Oh wow, what a shame.
Yeah, it is. And I've gone and I can find different soundboard recordings available, people like on SoulSeek and whatnot, but I haven't found the ones I've lost.
Oh,
I
that's
have a couple
shame.
of them, but not all of them.
That's a shame.
But the thing is, I'm more upset by losing them. I don't think I'd ever listen to them again. Like there was.
It's just to have them, though. It's to have these things, yeah. Because every time you go to your hard drive, or you think about, you see a folder on your hard drive, or for me it's CDs on the wall. I've got a bunch of CDs here. Every time you see them in passing, wherever they are, it kind of reminds you of them. And so having things to remind you, I think, is quite important. It's a weird thing, because you do tend to forget, and then something will raise it in your mind, and instant regret about the fact you don't have that yet. I haven't been reminded of it in so long, and there's that little pang of regret that you go, oh yeah, I used to have that. Like I went through that when I retired. I retired and I had loads of time to listen to stuff, whereas I didn't before. And I was like, God, I got rid of all my great CDs, and there was huge regret and guilt about that. And I've spent the last, when did I retire? 2018. So the last 6 years patching up the holes in all the CDs that I sold, because I just want to have them. It's not that I sit and listen to them all the time, but I listen to, whenever I do listen now, I listen to real media. I listen to the actual album, rather than, I listen to a lot. I preview a lot of stuff on YouTube, I to find out what it's like, and then if I like it, I'll stop it and I'll get the CD, and then I sit down and I listen to it properly. But there's something about having a collection. George Carlin was brilliant about the idea of stuff. You need the only reason you need a house is because you've got so much stuff. And he does this whole bit about going on holiday and taking a little amount of your stuff with you, and then somebody says, "Oh, let's go here," and you have to get your stuff down to an even tighter package, and then eventually you're just left with the one thing. These days it would be your phone. Nobody ever goes anywhere without their phone. You always have your phone with you. So there's that aspect of collecting stuff, which is a bit insane, but at the same time, there's something about it that's absolutely wonderful. Is to have your even things like guitars and things like that, instruments that you love, or music that you love, or films that you love. I've got a big collection of films through in the living room, and every time I pass, I look at that collection. I go, oh yeah, I remember that, and it just keeps my mind sort of ticking away on that. Yeah. So it's sad to lose something. Yeah.